obviously got a contributions from a lot of guys, but can you just talk about what Isaiah did down the stretch, scoring 9 points in the last couple minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. That's, when I'm watching Sacramento play on film, that's not an unusual game, from the standpoint of they go on huge runs. Sometimes they start out way ahead and a team will come back, or sometimes, they're behind and they'll come all the way back. They're a huge run team. And, I thought Isaiah did a great job at the end of helping put it away. And, I thought a lot of guys did. I thought Avery's shots when he went back in the fourth quarter from about the 10-minute mark to the 7-minute mark gave us a little bit of a cushion too.
Brad, when you guys get off to such a big offensive start, is one of the prices that you pay just that the other side starts gets into that
Shouldn't
flow?
be. We just didn't play well defensively for a lot of the night. Now, they put you in a tough spot. I mean, they're doing a lot of good things offensively. And you look at it, I said before the game, they're top 10 in 7 offensive categories. It's pretty unique. And the way that they space you and cut you around the Rondo Cousins pick and roll is very difficult. And they hurt us with that quite a bit. When Cousins is making threes like he has the last 2 games, where he goes 4 for 4 and 3 for 6, it's tough. It puts you in a predicament.
Brad, I heard you mention the type of game Sacramento plays, but if somebody had said to you when you walked in today you were going to put up 128, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is our offense has been pretty good in the last 10 games. I don't think we're 128 points good, but I think, we're probably due for games like that. And then you're going to have games where you're, like the other night where you're struggling to get to 100 and you're struggling to find the basket, and that's when you just have to defend better and give yourself a chance. Today, we didn't defend at the same level. And again, they had a lot to do with that, but, our offense kind of carried us.
You talked about a memo from the league about the flagrant fouls at the free throw line. The NBA said that they haven't changed that rule yet.
Yeah, it was a
Have you been
misinterpretation
clarified?
on my part.
So you just read the email wrong?
Yep.
How do you said the Kings play this style. I mean, how do you come away with a game like 24 turnovers? The defense was kind of inconsistent. How do you kind of walk away from a game like this? Are you just glad to get out of here with a win, or how do you?
I think that if you go back and I don't know what our turnover totals were, but look at the game in Mexico City, it was pretty similar from the standpoint that we had our runs when we played really well. We were pushing the ball up the floor. We were throwing it to our team, which is usually a good idea, instead of their team, and we were making shots. And so you get out to that lead, and then the game gets sloppy. And it got sloppy today a little bit earlier than that game in Mexico City, but it was kind of the same. And, we were talking about trying to avoid that. It's easier said than done. But, I thought that, we certainly contributed our part with 24 turnovers.
Coach, can you just touch on Avery Bradley's three-point shooting? He was 6 of 7 from behind the arc.
Yeah, I have an old coaching friend that is, that had always said, and when they hit a last-second shot, watch out the next game, and it held true with Avery today. He was shooting it looked pure every time it left his hands. He made great plays shooting the ball, but I thought he made great plays in the middle pick and roll too. One where he kept the guy on his hip and made a little floater, and then 2 passes to Tyler on the roll late that allowed Tyler to get to the line.
Coach, I know that, obviously Tyler Zeller's been playing better and a lot more lately, but it seemed like in the fourth quarter today, when they started making that comeback, he made a few plays there that kind of allowed you to maintain that lead. Can you talk a little bit about, his play of late, and then especially this afternoon?
One thing about Tyler's always going to run the floor really hard, and he's always going to roll to the rim really hard. And so you've got a stable presence at the rim, so that. And we were getting some good things from our shooters, and so to have a guy that's going to be at the rim is going to open up some opportunities for the guys on the perimeter, and it's going to hopefully end up opening up opportunities for him. And then I thought he did a good job, obviously, in playing in the seams and knocking down a few open shots too. So, Tyler's doing great.
Coach, not only Tyler but also Jared, Amir, it
Played
seemed
great.
that you were getting a lot of production from your bigs, scoring-wise. Is that just a conscious thing, or is that just happening in the flow of the game, or?
I mean, it's every game we're trying to play through our bigs, especially in the seams, and pick and rolls. And some games are going to get more opportunities than not. You know, obviously, all of those guys' ability to shoot a 16-footer helps. And then, you know, I thought they did a good job of getting to the rim on some plays, and you know, finishing off dump-offs or finishing off rolls. Finishing on offensive rebounds, those types of things. But I thought all three of them played well, and Sully got us going early with a hot start, and then Tyler was great in the fourth quarter shooting the ball.
And Sully in particular, it seems that he's had some of his best games as a pro when matched up against DeMarcus Cousins. Is there something about that matchup that you guys have seen on video that makes it one that kind of works for you guys?
Other than the fact that, you know, anytime you're playing against a guy with more size than you who's a traditional 5, that you'd want to stretch him a little bit as far as, you know, pull him out on the floor. But other than that, you know, he's a hard guy to isolate one-on-one on the post. But if you can stretch the floor, space the floor with shooting bigs, that's what you're trying to do. And that's, you know, that's what we try to do with Tyler and Sully today.
Brad, you're obviously getting the results you want, 9 wins in the last 10 games, but you seem to focus more on process. So I was wondering if you thought the team has improved over the past 3 weeks during this kind of winning stretch.
Yeah, I think there are some things we're doing better. It's hard to really gauge game by game. You know, I felt like in some ways we took a step back defensively today. We turned the ball over too much, but I think overall I feel pretty good about our progress. I feel good about the rhythm that the guys are in. I think we've got to continue to work hard to be a good team. If we don't defend and we don't share the ball, those are usually recipes for disaster for us. And, you know, we've been able to do that pretty consistently over the last 10 games. But I don't, like, nobody is in there doing cartwheels. I mean, you move on to what's next, you play as well as you can, and get ready for a Milwaukee team that's really hard to play up there.